Okay, so let me ask a question right off the bat. Do you blame this one guy for all the issues that we're going through? When I say issues, I mean like high gas prices, high jet fuel prices, tariffs, the de minimis removal, and the list goes on. Should the blame be solely on his shoulders? If you follow my channel, you know my answer to this. But I want to show this quick clip from the Zeteo channel, and for me, it felt good to hear this from within the borders of the circus.
You said, quote, if we're going to get past this, we can't blame it on him. He's a manifestation of the ugliness that's in us. Do you think the Democratic Party understands that point?
Some days I do, other days I don't. But I do know the world understands it.
Yeah.
The world doesn't trust us. It's not Trump. The American people put him in office twice.
This is Eddie Glaude Jr., and he's a university professor at Princeton. And what he just said is what the world wants to hear. I mean, at least I do. And I'm part of the world outside of the United States. But I know I'm not the only one either, because I get hundreds, maybe even thousands of comments like this on my channel. And let me read this one out. It's from Lord Kiltridge. 77,302,580 people voted for Taco Tuesday, and 92 million. If you guys haven't noticed, I have trouble reading numbers. And I also say things backwards. But hey, I guess I'm human, right? Anyways, 92 million people sat back and let it happen. That's 169 million people that are responsible directly and indirectly for Taco Tuesday. Damn near 170 million people. It's not just one guy. As Mr. Glaude Jr. said earlier, the world knows this. We know this. And the world wants the United States to do something about the problem that they caused. The world is not going to save them, and they need to save themselves, which doesn't give me much hope, to be honest. But I want to show a bit more from this Zeteo interview, and let's get started.
We're going to have to name the devil that has the country by the throat, Eddie.
Well said.
And if we don't name the devil that has us by the throat, we cannot get to the other side of this crisis, because it's a toxic combination of greed, selfishness, and hatred that's fundamentally choking the life out of American democracy right now. And if we're not honest and finally grow the hell up, this democracy is in deep peril.
Now, I know some people listening to this right now might think when he said, we're going to have to name the devil that has the country by the throat. Most people think about this guy. But unfortunately, it's not this guy. It's these people here, and this person, and then this person as well. The ones that actually voted for Taco Tuesday, and also those who didn't vote at all. I'm not sure what kind of image I can use for those people. But the devil isn't just one person. It's the United States culture, the greed, the arrogance, the racism, the exceptionalism. All of this is not going to be fixed overnight, unfortunately.
What you're saying now reminds me of something you said in 2020, a quote I came across that rings even more true today, especially after the release of this book of yours, is that it's easy for us to blame Trump for everything. And you said, quote, if we're going to get past this, we can't blame it on him. He's a manifestation of the ugliness that's in us. Do you think the Democratic Party understands that point?
Some days I do, other days I don't. But I do know the world understands it.
Yeah.
The world doesn't trust us. It's not Trump. The American people put him in office twice. The American people have jeopardized the global economy with this guy. And so I think it's really important for the Democratic Party, that's captured by in so many ways, man. We have to be honest. It's captured by corporate forces.
Now, the Democratic Party, they're no friend of Canada or the rest of the world. I think in the beginning of my channel, I was very naive, thinking that we can still support the Democrats in the blue states. Well, that kind of ended quickly, especially after I heard this from Governor Mills.
And so when people stop coming to Maine, particularly from Canada, from the maritime provinces, they're not hurting Donald Trump. They're not hurting the powers that be in Washington. They're hurting their friends here in Maine, whose businesses thrive and depend on Canadian traffic. And that is disappointing. You're not sending a message to Washington, and you're only hurting your friends and potentially family members who live and work in Maine.
Yeah, I'm not going to let this clip die. This clip of Governor Mills is going to live forever on my channel. But that's not the only time a Democratic senator demanded things from Canada.
I asked that Canada move as quickly as possible to get a law passed in Parliament, making sure that it's gone permanently. The Prime Minister was receptive to that. He said he would get on it in the fall.
The four senators asked the Prime Minister to fully abolish the suspended digital services tax.
I still think removing the digital service tax was a mistake. But removing the digital service tax wasn't just a Taco Tuesday thing, because we just heard from Ron Wyden, who's a Democratic senator for what state? Oregon? So whenever we hear something about the digital service tax, it's not just the Taco Tuesday guy pushing it. It's also Democratic senators as well. And let me show one more Democratic senator that sounds like she's on Team Taco.
And then, we're watching things develop. We don't like watching a decision to let Chinese vehicles into Canada. That's not something we want in the United States. And so we're struggling for the first time in a long time being on different pages.
Let me translate to what she really means. We are struggling with the fact that you guys are not doing what we want you to do. And we're going to continue gaslighting you with the propaganda until you comply. Did I get that translation right? Let me know in the comments below.
On international trade issues, to me, to have, like, for instance, a BYD video car, which is, a wholly Chinese-made vehicle with a data package that's sending back 3D video and mapping and geolocation and can be hacked back to Beijing. Those are things that I see as I'm a former CIA officer. They're national security issues, not just economic security issues.
So let me translate this as well. It's okay for us to spy on you with Tesla and Apple, but it's not okay for BYD. I mean, essentially, Apple and Tesla are already doing the same thing. You see, this is the gaslighting that I would expect from the Republicans. But she's a Democratic senator. So the Democrats are no friends of Canada or the rest of the world. They are only thinking for themselves as well. I say get your rhetoric out of Canada. Maybe take Rosemary with you.
And we know that there's this effort to kind of continuously appeal to what they consider to be the middle, the independents that determine our politics. And in light of those two sets of pressures, they are reluctant to really, in so many ways, push an agenda that can fundamentally transform the lives of working people. And until that happens, we're going to be beholden to this politics. I think, let me just say this really quickly. I don't think American politics will change until we get rid of the consulting class that has been driving American politics for as long as I can remember. And so the answer to the question is, some days they seem like it, but then they seem to be reveling in symbols, and other days they don't.
And until the Democratic side fixes their problems, starts thinking about their own people and not like the money, I don't see any change for the United States. I mean, this is so easy for us to see from the outside in. And I think the rest of the world has been trying to, give hints to the United States what they need to do. And it kind of reminds me of this satire video that has been out for a few years. Let me show everyone.
The thin rectangle.
You guess where that goes?
The thin rectangle.
That's right. It goes in the square hole. And up next, a cylinder.
The circle.
I think that goes in
the circle.
The square hole. Now, we've also got this semicircle right here. Do you see a slot that would fit
the semicircle?
Semicircle?
The semicircle.
That's right. It's the square hole. Okay. Up next, the triangle. We know what hole that goes into,
triangle.
Right?
Triangle.
That's right. The square hole.
I don't know, at least for me, this is a good representation of what I feel like when it comes to the United States. Something as simple as putting blocks in the proper hole. So simple to the rest of us, but has to be made complicated by the United States. And I know what the haters are going to say. They're going to say, oh, well, putting everything in the square, it's more efficient. No, it's called cheating and lying to yourself as well, which I guess, it is a good representation. Now, I want to move on to this last part of the Zeteo interview, where he asked the question, will the U.S. survive Taco Tuesday?
So on that note, let me end with this question to you. I often ask guests, especially in this dark moment we're living through, about how they stay hopeful. But I have to say, I'm less inclined to ask you about hope after looking at your book, which you begin by saying, quote, I do not love America and never have, especially now. And then later in the book, you write, in its 250th year, America, USA, is in deep trouble, and I cannot say with certainty that the country will survive. What do you mean by that?
Now, before we get started on his comments, I want to comment on this first. Does the U.S. survive? It could mean many things on different levels. I mean, it could be do all 50 states stay together? Does the soft power get rebuilt? Or does the United States go into full-blown civil war? Out of the three that I just listed, the only one I really care about is the soft power. And not in a way where I want it to improve, but I want everybody to remember what's going on right now. So I guess in a sense, I don't want it to improve. But the first one, whether all 50 states stay together, or if there's going to be an all-out civil war, for those two, not my problem. But I can safely say that the soft power of the United States, even after Taco Tuesday is gone, is going to be forever tainted.
Well, I don't want to fall into the what I take to be an adolescent approach to life, that somehow everything, the arc of America's story will always end in something good. No. I commend a more tragic vision, a more blues-soaked vision. And when I wrote that first sentence, I was trying to be truthful because I don't love the abstraction. In fact, some invocations of American patriotism, Mehdi, sound to my ear like a rebel yell.
Now, I'm not going to be all doom and gloom when it comes to the United States, because I am going to say it does make me happy to hear this from within their borders. And for those US citizens that are watching my channel, I think you can relate to Professor Eddie. But unfortunately, and I've said this many times on my channel, the group that could probably relate to this in the United States is just too small. I always think, like, what would happen if we just showed this video clip to a regular US citizen? My guess, some might understand, some might get upset and get defensive, and some will probably say, oh, I don't listen to politics, which this is not really about politics, it's about human behavior. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the message from Professor Eddie, but I just don't think there's enough US citizens that are interested.
Yeah.
It invokes something that is deep and visceral in how I was socialized as a Black person in Mississippi. I'm not interested in the abstraction. I love the people close to the ground. And my faith is in the capacity of human beings to be otherwise. We can be monstrous. That is clear. That is for sure. But we can also be miraculous in how we live our lives and how we can transform our circumstances. So I have an abiding faith in the capacity of human beings to transform their lives. But hope is not what I'm reaching for in this moment, surprisingly. I think one of my students at the end of my Baldwin seminar taught me well. She said, maybe it's not hope. Maybe what we need to do, and you do this with Zeteo, is tell the truth with love, lit by rage, which means we must bear witness and bring light to our moment so that we can be the miracles that we can be.
Now, I can agree with that part. I mean, does the United States and their citizens, do they have enough rage right now for what's going on to try to make a change? Now, I know some people are going to say, who the hell cares, GTL? Why do you care so much? It's not your problem. Well, of course it's not my problem, and it's not the problem of anyone around the world. Whether you're in Europe, or like Asia, or any other country outside of the United States. It isn't our problem. But we can't exactly, cut out the United States and, ship them to another planet. And whatever happens within their borders is still going to affect us. So as a selfish reason for myself, as well as many around the world, it is in our own benefit to have the United States sort itself out. It doesn't mean we have to be friends with them or be like kumbaya with them anymore. We just want a civil and orderly next door neighbor again. And maybe be able to sleep without things being thrown over the fence. To close out this video, I would like to thank Swamp Witch PEI from our Discord server for sending this photo from Stratford, Prince Edward Island. The colors in this photo are amazing, and thank you for sharing it with all of us. Alright everyone, that's all I got for this video. Let me know your thoughts and comments on this one, because I am very curious on whether anyone thinks the United States is going to recover. I mean, it can't get any worse than this, right? Right? If you found any value in anything I said today, or you want to hear more from a Canadian and international point of view, without the US media bias, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below. That way you'll be notified of my future videos. And don't forget to hit the bell icon and select all as well. Now if you want to see more of my videos, check out the ones that are going to show up on your screen shortly. Thanks everyone, I'll catch you in the next one.